In Unity 2018.1, we introduced two scriptable render pipeline templates, the high-definition render pipeline and the lightweight render pipeline. The goal of the lightweight render pipeline was to provide optimized real-time performance on performance-constrained platforms by making some trade-offs with regard to lighting and shading. And now, in Unity 2019.3, the lightweight render pipeline was renamed to Universal Render Pipeline. But you might wonder, what was the thinking behind this? What actually is the Universal Render Pipeline? What are we going to do with it moving forward? And perhaps most importantly, how do you get started? So in today's video, that's exactly what we're talking about. I'm Sam from Unity, and this is the overview of the Universal Render Pipeline. Let's get into it. I mentioned that the lightweight render pipeline, now called Universal, is one of two templates for the scriptable render pipeline. If you're not familiar with the scriptable render pipeline, it's often referred to as SRP, and it's an alternative to the built-in render pipeline in Unity. With an SRP, you can control and tailor rendering via C# scripts, which lets you edit and customize the render pipeline to your needs. And that's exactly what we do with the templates. While the high-definition render pipeline is optimized for high-fidelity visuals on high-end platforms, such as PC and consoles, the Universal Render Pipeline focuses broadly on untethered platforms, including mobile devices and Nintendo Switch. And on top of that, Universal aims to become the default render pipeline in Unity in the future, hence the name change. We also have a blog post about this if you're interested to read more, so make sure to check out the link in the description box after watching this video. So now, let's jump into Unity and see what we have. What's that software you have open, Sam? Well, good thing you asked, because this is Unity Hub. Unity Hub, the only place where you can locate all of your projects, Unity versions, and more all in one location. Whoa, that is awesome. I know. All jokes aside, you should get Unity Hub through the link in the description. Not only does it help you manage all of your Unity versions and projects, but it also helps you create new projects using the Universal Render Pipeline. Speaking of which, if you're just about to create a new project using Unity Hub and you want to use the Universal Render Pipeline, in the templates field, you just pick Universal RP. Then, once you open your project, it will be using Universal out of the box, including a pre-configured example scene with post-processing already nicely configured for you. But let's assume that you already have a Unity project in progress and you just want to upgrade it to Universal RP. Then that's just as simple. In Unity, we just have to go to Window, enter the Package Manager, and find Universal RP. And then we just press Install. After Unity finishes installing the package, we need to tell Unity to switch to rendering with Universal RP. To do this, we first need to right-click in our project window, choose Create, go to Rendering, Universal Render Pipeline, and pick Pipeline Asset. This will create the configuration file for the Universal RP. Then we will head over to Edit, enter the project settings. In here, let's go to the Graphics tab and drag the configuration file we just created into the Scriptable Render Pipeline field. And that's pretty much it for setting up your project to use Universal RP. Now, if you do have any assets in your project that turn pink after you do this, don't worry, that just means we have to upgrade the materials of those assets to Universal materials. Let's simply head over to Edit once again, and this time go into Render Pipeline, Universal Render Pipeline, and in here, pick to upgrade project materials to URP materials, and there you go. There are so many cool new features you get access to simply by using the Universal RP. If I had to pick a personal favorite of mine, it would probably be the revamped version of the post-processing stack for URP. The post-processing stack is part of the URP package we installed from the package manager. So all we have to do is select the game object where we can locate the post-processing components. I normally do this on an empty game object that I create dedicated for post-processing. On this game object, let's add a component called volume. You will notice that I have the mode set to global. The reason is that global means that the set of effects we set up in this volume component will be affecting the entire scene. If we disable global, then we'll have to define a specific area in the scene where these effects apply. Now I'm going to add a bloom effect in the volume component, enable all of the options, and simply adjust the intensity. I'll keep adding a couple more effects and adjust their settings until there's enough eye candy. I think this looks pretty good. Upgrading to Universal RP also means that it is now possible to use Unity's visual node-based shader editor, ShaderGraph. I have linked to a guide on using ShaderGraph in the description below, and I have also left a link which will take you to the documentation for Universal RP, where you can find a list of features that are unlocked by using URP. So make sure to check them out. As you can see, Universal Render Pipeline is pretty simple to get started with. On a personal level, I feel like I'm very lucky that I got started with URP recently because, after all, it does aim to become the default render pipeline for Unity in the future, so it's always good to get a head start and also to start experimenting with. Let me know in the comment section if you're working on a game right now where you are using the Universal RP or you plan or intend to use it. I'm interested in hearing more about your projects because you guys are so creative and I get a little bit jealous, I'm not gonna lie. All jokes aside, it is super inspiring to see you in the comment section and to hear more about your projects. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you in the comment section.